Welcome to Rising Parent, your honest and relatable guide to the ups and downs of parenthood. I'm your host, Edna, and Tim and I are here to share the real stories and practical advice to help you navigate this beautiful, messy journey. In this episode, our guest speakers, Lynn and David, will dive deep into our notes on the unfiltered truth of parenting, exploring the challenges, joys, and everything in between. Join us as we debunk the myths and embrace the reality of raising children. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get real about parenting.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Yes, welcome back.
Today, we are going to get into something I think a lot of you have experience with.
Yeah, a lot of personal experience.
This is going to be a deep dive into parenthood.
Oh, yeah.
And luckily, we've got some really great source material to work with today.
Absolutely.
We're going to be looking at Edna and Tim's work.
20 plus years working with families.
They have seen it all.
Seen it all.
So this is going to be a really great deep dive, I think, for anyone out there who is a parent.
Yeah.
Or maybe thinking about becoming a parent.
Especially those who are thinking about becoming a parent.
We're really going to get into it, all the good stuff, the bad stuff.
Yeah, the stuff they don't...
The stuff they don't tell you.
They don't put in the baby books.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Edna and Tim really start out
right off the bat
talking about this idea of the constant juggle.
The constant juggle.
And I love that because I
It
think
really is.
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's like you're constantly...
Especially those first few years.
Oh, yeah, you're juggling like so many different things.
And they really break it down into like three main areas.
Yeah, sleep deprivation.
Sleep deprivation.
Time management.
Time management.
And that never-ending to-do list.
And I don't know about you, but
Oh, my God.
that never-ending to-do list, that is...
the bane of my existence sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
So let's start with the sleep deprivation because Edna and Tim actually cite a study in here.
Yeah, they found new parents lose an average of 44 hours of sleep.
In just the first 3 months.
Just in the first 3 months of having a newborn,
That's like,
it's almost 2 full days
it is almost 2 full days
of sleep
that
you're losing.
like gone.
Oh.
And, they talk about the effects of this.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Irritability.
The difficulty.
Focus.
If you have to go back to work.
If you have to go back to work, yeah.
I mean, there was one anecdote that Edna shared that I just thought was so funny.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
She was trying to get ready for work.
Okay.
And like pack lunches and referee a sibling squabble,
Oh, yeah.
all while trying to like wrangle her toddler into clothes.
And it's like, who hasn't been there?
It's like you're doing like 5 things at once.
At least.
And none of them well.
Right. And that's where I think Edna and Tim's advice about self-compassion is so important.
Right.
Because you don't
You can't do it all.
be perfect
And you can't be perfect.
at all times.
You just can't.
You're going to mess things up.
You're going to drop the ball sometimes.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Like part of being human.
That's part of being human and especially a parent.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about the sleep deprivation,
Yeah.
the time management, the to-do
Fun
list,
stuff.
all the really fun stuff that comes along with being a parent.
Right.
But Edna and Tim also don't shy away from like
The emotional side of it.
the emotional roller coaster.
The emotional roller
The
coaster.
parenthood. Yeah.
And I think this is something that
A lot of people
isn't really talked about a lot
don't realize until they're in it.
until they're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And we're talking about
The guilt. The
Like,
guilt.
the self-doubt.
Oh, the self-doubt.
the constant
and
worry.
All of those things.
Yeah, it's intense.
And it's, it's not always fun to talk about,
Right.
but I think it's so important to acknowledge it.
Absolutely.
Because it's real.
Because if we don't acknowledge it, then we just feel like we're alone in it.
Exactly. And like we're the only ones
Right.
going through it.
Like, why am I the only one who feels like this?
Right.
And Edna and Tim, they really drive this point home with some of their anecdotes.
Yeah.
I mean, one that really stuck with me was Edna talking about how her son just scraped his knee.
It was like a tiny little scrape.
A tiny little scrape.
And she just like broke down.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Because it's like
in that moment, you realize.
you realize how much you love this little person and how much you don't want them to ever get hurt.
Right.
And like, that is so powerful.
It is. And it's scary.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming.
And it's overwhelming.
So I think what Edna and Tim are really trying to get at here is,
Okay.
You need to have a support system.
You can't do this alone.
You can't do this.
Like, you need your partner, you need your friends, you need your family.
Your other parent friends who get it.
Yes, other parents.
Who've been there.
Who
you can call at 2 a.m. when you're like,
oh my God, what do I do?
I don't know what to do.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the serious stuff,
The heavy stuff.
the emotional stuff.
Yeah.
Are you ready for something a little lighter?
Oh, gosh, I could use a laugh.
Me too. Okay, so Edna and Tim also dedicate a whole section
A whole section.
to the mess and chaos that comes along with having kids.
The joys of parenthood.
And this is where they really don't sugarcoat it.
Oh, no.
They talk about the sticky fingerprints everywhere.
The toys.
The toys that you trip over.
Underfoot.
Constantly, yeah.
The laundry.
A never-ending laundry.
It never ends.
It multiplies overnight.
It's like, what? I swear it does.
How is there so much laundry?
I don't know.
But you know what? Tim actually has a really great saying about this.
Oh, what's that?
He says, embrace the chaos.
Embrace the chaos.
It's just a sign of life.
It's just a sign of life.
And I think he's right.
Oh, he has a point.
Because if you're constantly battling the mess,
Yeah.
you're never going to enjoy
The good stuff.
the good stuff.
Right.
So it's about
Finding that balance.
finding that balance
between
of letting go of the need for everything to be perfect and also like creating some systems
some systems and routines.
that help you manage it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we've talked about the fun stuff, the chaos, but Edna and Tim also get real about the impact that all of this has on
your relationships.
on your relationships. And they talk about how
Yeah.
parenthood can put a strain on
Romantic partnerships.
romantic partnerships.
And friendships.
And friendships and like
just your own personal time.
your own personal time.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last
I
time
don't remember.
I took a bath
A bath.
and like just relaxed?
That sounds amazing.
Right.
Huh.
Sign me up.
But Edna and Tim actually work with a lot of couples
Yeah, couples who are struggling
who are really struggling with this.
with finding that balance.
With finding that balance after having kids.
Yeah.
And their biggest piece of advice is to communicate.
Talk to each other.
And I know that sounds so simple,
That sounds so simple.
but it's hard,
It is.
especially when you're exhausted,
You're sleep deprived.
you're touched out.
You're touched out.
You just want
Hide in the bathroom
hide in the bathroom.
for 5 minutes.
But it's so important
But it is.
to make time
Did you idle it in?
to talk to your partner. Put it on the calendar.
About how you're feeling, about
what you need,
what you need.
what they need.
Yeah, and to really
Nice.
make sure that you're both
On the same page.
on the same page.
And sharing the responsibilities.
I
Let's
think-
be real.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
And even if that village is just the two of you,
Right.
you got to work together.
You got to tag team it.
You got to tag team.
And on that note of finding balance and working together,
Yes.
don't forget about self-care.
Oh my God, self-care.
Well, what is that?
What is that?
I don't even remember.
I vaguely remember it being a thing.
Right.
But Edna and Tim, they're really adamant about this.
Yeah.
They're like, you have
And
to
even if it's just 15 minutes
15 minutes a day
to do something for you that you enjoy.
that fills your cup.
Yeah.
Whether that's
Taking a bath,
taking a bath,
reading a book,
reading a book,
going for a walk,
going for a walk,
whatever it is.
whatever it is,
That time.
find that time.
Yeah.
Because you can't
You can't pour from an empty cup.
pour from an empty cup.
Right.
Okay, so last but not least,
We're getting to the end here.
we have to talk about those
Unexpected challenges.
unexpected challenges.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much you prepare,
How many books you read?
how many podcasts you listen to,
How many deep dives you do?
you can't anticipate
Oh.
everything that's going to come your way.
Life is going to throw you curveballs.
And Edna and Tim talk about
All sorts of curveballs.
behavioral issues,
Yeah. Yes.
health concerns,
Yeah.
school struggles,
Mhm.
all the things.
And this is where I think Tim's advice about resilience is so important.
Yeah.
He always tells parents, you're stronger than you think you are.
You're stronger than you think you are.
And it's so true.
It is.
You find this inner strength.
You have to.
You have to.
When you become a parent,
That you didn't even know you had.
you didn't even know existed.
And it's amazing what you can handle
What you can handle.
when you have to.
But I think the other important takeaway here is it's okay to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help.
You don't have to do this alone.
You don't have to figure it all out on your own.
There are other parents.
There are professionals
There are people who've been there.
who want to help.
So don't be afraid to reach out.
Right.
So, wow, I think we covered a lot today.
We did. We really got into it.
We really got into the nitty-gritty of parenthood.
The nitty-gritty.
And I think if there's one thing,
one big takeaway
that we can all agree on,
it's
that parenthood is a wild ride.
It is a wild ride.
Full of highs and lows. Highs and lows.
Twists and turns.
Twists and turns.
But ultimately,
it's the most rewarding.
It's the most rewarding thing you'll ever do.
So
to all the parents and caregivers out there,
yeah,
you're doing amazing.
You're doing great.
Remember,
you're not alone.
You're not alone.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please do us a favor.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes.
Yeah, we've got some great stuff coming up.
We do.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and until next time, keep on keeping on.
You got this.
You got this.
And that's a wrap. We hope this episode has provided you with some honest and relatable insights into the world of parenting. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and it's okay to ask for help. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more honest and relatable advice to support you on your parenting journey. Until next time, keep on parenting one day at a time.